Hello and welcome to this Photoshop tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to take these images and we'll go to merge them in Photoshop to creating panoramic image, and as well we're going to stylize them to create a very unique kind of retro look or more stylization to bring out some elements. So you notice they're all in a raw format, and we'll see how Photoshop with a photo merge will handle this. Okay, and as we're doing this, you can see right here it will be our final image, and we'll look over how Photoshop taking and we'll merge all of those elements together for us. So we'll have a final image, and of course we'll go inside and make this stylization so we can have it from these elements retouching to create more panoramic look of the lighthouse over the ocean. So let's go ahead and start working on this. So let's go begin our retouching and creating this panorama by merging all images together. Photoshop CC have it very nice utilities inside, and we'll go after mate, we'll go use it photo merge. Photo merge allowed us to select multiple images and bring them together. So right here we'll use the after mode, so we'll let Photoshop kind of worried about how it's aligned. And we'll go to the browse, and right here some images from my trip in Oregon and 8422. So let's go select these ones, and we'll go maybe up to this. So right here I have it 5 images selecting. We'll go click OK. One thing I want to remove vignetting, because I know each image had vignetting. I want to clear this. Next, also geometric distortion, so on the and content aware field transparent area, because how it's merging, sometimes we have empty areas, and Photoshop does a very good job on this. So we'll go ahead, click OK, and right here you can see the Photoshop will loading each image, and by the way, notice they all CR2. This is a raw format for the Canon camera, so it's meaning we don't need to go through the camera raw. Photoshop natively right now working with the raw images by reading, removing vignetting, realigning all those distortions that lens can provide it, and building them together. Okay, so right here it's done, and we can look over what's happening. If you look how photo merge did job, it's actually take each image, and right here you can see how it's cut, try to apply one, add another ones, and add more and more. And right here we have this elements that is missing. That's why we have it add, and it's did good job, except some portions like right here definitely repeating, so we want to remove them, and mostly because it is kind of, you can see how the cloning does not necessarily look very good. So I'm going to create another layer above this and just fix it, some of this thing. You have several ways we can do this. We can do this by, so we're going to use healing brush. We can select some area around here, okay, or in this case healing brush just going like right there, and we'll just remove some of these elements. And I want to be careful so we don't creating some distortion right there. Same, I don't like it, but on this one I'm going to use it clone stamp tool. Okay, we'll go select element and just slightly clone. Right there, just to create some of this hiding elements, because I don't necessarily like it. There you go. I think this has come up a little bit better. You can see right here, so we don't necessarily see some of this cloning too much, same as right there. And as I'm looking around this image, and by the way, this is a large image, so we're going image size, and you can see this is 11,000 pixels, so it's quite a bit large. Right here I don't like some of these people, so I'll go create a new layer, and I want to remove them out of here. Same things, we can use it, the magic one right there, and you can see how this Photoshop does excellent job on this. So we can just remove this way, Okay, we can touch up some elements, leave it, by default. For example, I don't necessarily want right there. We can kind of just remove it. Okay, see, the problem is sometimes right here what is happening, we have elements, and in this case it's not necessarily will work, so sometimes we need to use it tools. So we need to take our stamp tool, select right there, and just kind of almost painting right there a little bit off. Select again, and some of this blue I'm not necessarily like how it's come up, so we'll hide some of these elements. If we have some small leftover, again this way content aware nice will work for this. I'm gonna just fix this way. There you go. And remember, this is far away, so we remove some people. Something right there coming up. So let's clean up here. Just small lines go over. But I think overall image somewhat ready to start kind of working on this. Okay, so this is basic panoramic. I want to bring some stuff. So right here, clouds and everything. So we're going to Control Alt Shift E or Command Alt Option E. We create new layer, merged. And one thing I want to do is going filter. And another options for us available is go to camera raw filter. Of course, it's not have it full wide range as a raw filter, but it does allow us to do elements like, for example, right here I want to bring my highlights down to bring more sky out. We could bring little bit but not too much, maybe on the shadows. Okay, we already done all this perspective, we don't care. We'll take a little bit sharpen and bring just a little bit. So again, we can look around here and you can see how much actual sharpening bring nice details. So I think that will work good. Okay, let's go back to our luminosity, and then in luminosity I want to take and bring a little bit on the green. So we go bring greens a little bit up, yellows a little bit up, and the blues maybe just slightly down. So kind of add more contrast, more interesting depth in colorizations. As well, we can add a little bit on saturation. The one thing what I'm done right now actually, and it's not necessarily the best way, I'm just doing on a new merge. You could done this creating by smart object and do non-destructive this way, but again for me I'm still have it my all original behind, so I'm just creating on a new image. Okay, so we add, and you can see we add some of these colorizations and a little bit more depth to this. Next, I want to add more HDR look to this. I'm going to duplicate my merge copy layer, and I'm going to image, adjustment, go to black and white, and in black and white I want to some elements to bring. So because I know my process and it will go black and white, going to shadow highlights, and after we're going to switch to soft light mode. And soft light mode allowed the 50% gray is invisible, a little bit darker it will make more darker, and lighter. So it's have this contrast curve kind of going applied to the dark and light areas, but again 50% about this gray is invisible. So based on this I'm going to preset what I want to bring up. So for example, you can see if I bring a little bit more blue, I know they will be highlight and bring them brighter. So I want to actually then bring down a little bit. Same right there, it will add, you can see clouds now come up a little bit more, red ones a little bit brighter, and a little bit brighter on a yellow, so I'll bring them up. Let's look on our magenta. I don't think we kind of use this channel. We'll go click OK, and next go to Image, Adjustment, and we'll go to Shadow and Highlights. What the Shadow Highlights allowed us to do is a little bit help flatten, because we have a little bit too much before of the contrast. So to do this, we'll take Amounts to this. And by the way, if you're in this mode, you probably just need to click Show More Options. Okay, so we'll go set this to about 12 pixels. We don't need a wide area. And with the tone, we can actually, you can see, we can adjust. So I'll bring slightly maybe on the ground, and overall darkness right here you can see with our sky, maybe just a little bit brighter, so not too dark. Run this area, click OK, and as I said before, we go to switch this to the soft light. Right here you can see before and after. It does add this some HDR, a little bit deeper tone kind of look to us. So our clouds come out better, and we have it also add elements. If it's too strong, go in opacity, and you can reduce, add, remove opacity this way. Okay, so right here we're kind of done. Next, I want to add more of the color to this different tone or theme of the colors, and I like to do this by using curves. Switch curves to color mode. It's allowed me to modify just the colors, not the luminosity. And based on this, we can go and select, for example, blue color, bring blue shadows up, take middle drop down, create kind of like retro warm look almost. We'll go take red, and in red we can see we can bring warmer color in these old photos, or we can bring a little bit cold in the shadows and restore a little bit our line up. Okay, let's go look on the greens. And greens we can play with magenta or green color, and usually on this one I don't think it will work very well. Next, I still have a little bit dark shadows right here, crush black almost in some areas. Let's fix this by creating another curve. On this case, we'll switch to luminosity. And by the way, let me rename this. So we know this color. We know this luminosity. Okay, now we'll take luminosity one, and we'll take this black and bring up. See what is happening? Dark shadows, we actually remove them from there. We can do same on the whites. We can actually take whites and bring down. If we're going too much to the middle, we almost can create this foggy kind of desaturated little bit coloring mode, a neutral one. But now we'll bring this and we'll take bring up whites. Same things, if you create middle point, you can create a little bit actual contrast in this point if you need it, but in this case I don't want it. So right here we have already apply our coloring mode to this. Next, I want to add a little bit vignetting to the edges. To do this, I'm going again use create new curve. We'll do vignetting on that one. We'll go to actually take this line and go all the way down. So it's become black. Now we need to create a mask. And a mask we're creating by selecting a little bit, you can see, of the edges. So right there you can see just a little bit of the edges. And we'll go fill this one with a black color inside right there. You can press Alt or Option and Backspace, and that will use it shortcut to fill up with your primary color. So after we're done filling, we have this black border around. So let's go to the mask for our curve, take feathers and just move it, and you can see how it starts feathering in. So when you think about right, let's leave right there and switch to the soft light mode. Okay, let's look right here. So you can see we apply this vignetting. One nice thing about this vignetting, why I like to do this way, I can always go and switch, for example, to do to the white. So instead of black, now it's white, or I can change multiple colors. I can apply specific color if I want it. So all what I need to do is going in my mode, for example, blue, and I can apply a little bit cyanish or bluish edge. So you have all these options. And sometimes you see how people create this old look like photos. You can do same with vignetting. You can apply with those different color curves and using this way. But for now, we'll just go black. And I think it's a little bit too strong, so I'm going to take down and just a little bit add opacity right there. So just a little bit vignetting, not too much. Okay, at this point we can look, and by the way, this is actually a full resolution image. So it's quite a bit. And this is quite a bit large image to this point. So overall, I think it's very nice panoramic. Again, anytime if you want it, you can go back to your color mode, and we can even apply even more retro look to this. Even create kind of reddish color. Actually, discoloring, I think this way will look better. Put right there. There you go. Just create somewhat a little bit coloring look. Okay, so let's do this way. Let's create our images. Take all of them, and we group them together. And right here we have it before and after retouching. You can see we remove some people, we bring a little bit more sky out, clouds right here that was lost, so we kind of see those layering. And again, this is from multiple image shot, handheld it, Canon 5D Mark III, and I just take one image. Okay, right there you can see two good images, and we'll use it. Photoshop was using Photoshop to merge them together. Bring, and again we'll did all of this to retouching to bring something special, something that stylizations in Photoshop. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please remember visit on the website www.geekatplay.com or support me at Patreon as a Geekatplay.